Let us consider the program of computing the n-point DFT. The DFT is represented by the summation as shown in the equation. Input x of n is multiplied by the Twiddle factor and it is evaluated for the value of n between 0 to n minus 1. So this gives 1 point of the DFT. Now the equation can also be written in the form which is shown on the right. So here we are making use of the Euler's relation. E power of minus j theta could be represented as cos theta minus j sin theta. Alternatively, if we prefer a plus in between, we can absorb that minus inside and you can write it as cos of minus theta plus j sin minus theta. Now, if you consider an input sequence with the values 1, 2, 2, 1 and we compute the DFT for the number of points which is 4, the answer turns out to be this. So the first point is a real value which is 6, imaginary part is 0. Second point is minus 1 in the real part and minus 1 in the imaginary part. Third point is 0 in both the real and imaginary, and fourth one will be minus 1 and plus 1. Let us take a look at the program written in C to mimic the equation. We are using the library file math.h due to the presence of the functions cos and sin. The input is stored in an array of size 4. The values are 1, 2, 2, 1. So X is the array representing the input. Y is the array which is holding the output, the result. The result is saved in consecutive memory location in an interleaved fashion. So first value is the real value and second value corresponds to the imaginary part of the result. So totally for 4 points we require 8 locations. Now W is a variable which represents the quantity inside the bracket. Now inside the program the number of points is declared to be 4. The number of input data points is equal to 4. Now in the for loop we can see that we are computing for a total length which is 2n, because if the number of inputs is 4, the number of outputs is going to be double. The index increment happens 2 times. So after computing in one iteration, we will get the answer for the real as well as imaginary part. Hence the index is incremented twice. So if y of k contains the real part, the immediate next location y of k plus 1 has the imaginary part of the result. Initially the values are made 0. Now k1 is equal to k by 2 will provide you the next index, okay, because the index increment happens twice. So if you divide by 2, it gives you the normal sequence. Now the value of w is computed as minus 2 pi k1 n divided by capital N. The value of pi is approximated. It is 3.14. Hence we can expect an approximation in the result as well. So if you are able to increase the accuracy of this, the result will also improve. Now you can see the computation, how it is done for the real part. The input is multiplied by the cos term, and for the imaginary part, the input is multiplied by the sin term. The results are stored in consecutive locations of y. Finally, the result which is found in the memory is printed. So first we are printing the real part, that is y of k, followed by the imaginary part of the result, and that imaginary part is appended with j to show that it is an imaginary term.
Let us have a look at the execution of the DFT program. So this program assumes that the inputs are of type float. The answer you will get is also floating point type. Now to support this, the library file to be incorporated is rts6713.lib. Now the program is already available here. The inputs assumed is 1, 2, 2, 1 for which we are going to compute the 4-point DFT. Capital N is assumed to be 4. Now the result will be obtained in a variable called as y. The output is going to be complex valued. The real part and the imaginary part are stored alternatively. Now compile the file, incremental build and rebuild. We have to load the output file. It is situated in a folder called as debug. Once loaded, when you execute the program, you can see the output. So as per the program, first we are displaying the real part of the complex number, followed by the imaginary part. We are appending a j to show that it is imaginary. So here are the 4 outputs. Now in order to plot the graph, go to view, under graph, time/frequency, select it as dual time. Now, do you have the data in an interleaved fashion? You have to select it as yes. You have to give the address of the variable which is holding the data. So here it happens to be y. Now how many items are you displaying? So the size is specified as 4. The display is chosen to be a 32-bit floating point number because the output is a floating point value and it is easily understood that way. Now if you go down, the plot style should be selected as bar. Click OK, and here you have the values. To verify the values, you can use the left arrow and right arrow on your keyboard. So if I move backwards, you can see the values as 6. This corresponds to the real part, and 0, it corresponds to the imaginary part. When you move to the next position, you will get the answer as minus 1.00079. This is corresponding to the real part. The bottom one is minus 1.00319, which corresponds to the imaginary part. So like this, you can verify the outputs. The third output, in fact, happens to be 0 and 0. And the last output you will get is approximately, it is 0.997588 and 0.9904674. Okay. Since we are relying on the equation, the answer will be approximately close to the theoretical value. If you want to check the memory location where it is saved, you can go to view, memory. Under this, you can enter the name of the variable, which is y. If you click enter, you find that the memory location, that variable y, is in the address as follows. This address can also be used for creating the display. Now to view the data correctly, you have to change the style. You have to select here as 32-bit float, and you can see the values correspondingly are appearing here. So 6 followed by 0 followed by minus 1.00794 and so on. So 8 values corresponding to the real and imaginary part of the FFT. So this you can copy this address, and in a similar fashion you can also use it for displaying the graph. So this time we'll choose dual time, interleave data source, yes, start as address. You can paste this value. How many outputs you're displaying? 4, 32-bit floating point, and here it should be bar. You get the same output. Thank you all.